criticizing over the drone deal with Ukraine. The foreign ministry...
It's not unexpected that the Russian foreign ministry would issue such a statement. We've seen this before. It's not something they only directed Canada, they directed at other nations. Look, we are steadfastly supportive of our Ukrainian colleagues to deal with an unjustifiable and illegal war. And so we will continue to be there with our NATO allies. And in so doing, we're strengthening NATO, we're coming together. And this is exactly the end result of what we would expect to see. We would expect to see the Russians to be critical because they don't appreciate the fact that NATO is coming together to assist a country that's in need.
The foreign ministry is threatening retaliation. Is this something you're in talks with?
This is language coming from Russia. It's not language we've seen language like this before. Our officials, our Canadian Armed Forces are, of course, keeping more than a watching brief over this, monitoring things closely and carefully. We will continue to remain steadfastly supportive of Ukraine.
Will this have you rethinking the drone deal? Will this have?
No, this is going to continue. We're going to continue to monitor the situation, but we're going to continue in steadfast support of our Ukrainian colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have any insight on the Gordie Howe opening?
I'll have Minister Robertson comment on this file, but I mean, if you look at the supply chains, they're very intertwined between Canada and the U.S. In fact, in Brampton, we have a huge transportation sector that uses the other bridge almost every day, and I know a lot of folks in my neck of the woods are excited to see the bridge open.
Is there any concern the White House says that its stance hasn't changed?
Dans le fond, il vient de dire qu'il ne cherchait pas à renouveler la CUSMA. On prend au sérieux cette stratégie de négociation?
On ne peut pas faire semblant de rien quand l'homme le plus puissant au monde dit quelque chose. On ne peut pas non plus s'inquiéter outre mesure parce que cet individu-là, au fil des ans, nous a habitués à changer d'idée en cours de route. Alors, oui, on prend acte de ça, pas plus.
Et les médias sociaux, bannir les moins de 16 ans, médias sociaux?
On va voir qu'est-ce que contient le projet de loi parce que c'est un enjeu qui est très sérieux, très, très sérieux, qui ne doit pas être traité à la légère. Donc, faisons notre travail sérieusement.
Bottom lane, just a reaction
How do you feel?
Donald Trump's comments.
Good to see you. Well, obviously, you know, we cannot do nothing while the most powerful man on earth is saying something. On the other hand, we cannot also take it with what it is. This gentleman, for the last year and a half, have proven without a shadow of a doubt that he can change his mind. So, stay tuned. Merci les amis.
Merci beaucoup.
Non, c'est pas ça.
Vous avez des enfants, les médias sociaux, je ne sais pas s'ils les utilisent ou s'ils sont dans l'âge, mais qu'est-ce que vous en pensez, bannir les médias sociaux?
Ben, mes enfants sont pas mal jeunes. C'est sûr que 2 ans, puis 3 ans, 8 ans, c'est pas mal trop jeune pour être là-dessus. Mais je pense que c'est une discussion qu'il faut avoir. On peut se retrouver toutes sortes de choses là-dessus, des gens mal intentionnés, des gens bien intentionnés, mais il faut être prudent avec ça. Donc, c'est sûr que moi, mes enfants, à l'âge qu'ils ont, assurément, je les enverrai pas ces réseaux sociaux. Après ça, pour le reste, je pense que c'est important d'avoir une réflexion sur la chose, puis de débattre, puis de voir ce que tout le monde a à dire là-dessus, puis avoir l'avis des experts. Là.
On travaille sur un dossier des agents frontaliers avec ICE. Je ne sais pas si vous l'avez lu, ce dossier. C'est un article qu'on a publié ce matin. Les agents frontaliers du Canada, est-ce que vous pensez qu'ils doivent collaborer avec ICE?
Ben, écoutez, c'est pas moi qui suis ce dossier-là spécifiquement. Ce serait peut-être plus ma collègue Claude de Bellefeuille qui serait bien placée pour vous répondre. Là.
Donald Trump vient de dire qu'il ne cherchait pas vraiment à renouveler la CUSMA. Est-ce qu'il faut prendre ça au sérieux?
Ah, ben, bon, faut prendre ça au sérieux, je sais pas. Donald Trump, il dit toutes sortes de choses, puis on pense pas qu'on peut prendre ça vraiment au sérieux, là. Ben écoutez, parce que c'est tellement difficile de savoir ce qui est vrai, ce qui est faux dans ce qui est dit que moi, je peux pas penser quoi que ce soit de cette affirmation-là. Mais je serais quand même très surpris que ce soit l'opinion des Américains, puis qu'au final, si la population américaine, je pense qu'en grande majorité, comprend que c'est important qu'il y ait des relations économiques là, avec les pays voisins, comme avec le Canada, comme avec le Québec, ben je vois pas pourquoi il se lancerait dans une opération comme ça, dans ces circonstances-là. Je pense que ça serait juste mauvais pour les Américains, puis mauvais pour lui électoralement à l'approche là, des élections de mi-mandat.
Merci bien.
Ça fait plaisir.
Merci.
Not renewing CUSMA. What do you think that means for Canada, and what should we take from it?
You know, it's hard to know what to take from it. I really can't really give you a good opinion on it. You know, being in an opposition party, we're not privy to what's at the table. We haven't been briefed on what the issues between Canada and the U.S. that Trump and Mr. LeBlanc are talking about all the time. So it's hard for me to give you an intelligent answer without knowing exactly what the hurdles are. And there's been no consultation that I'm aware of within the Conservative Party or other parties has been, you talk to stakeholders, they're concerned because they're not getting any information back from the government either. So how do you comment when you don't really know what's going on? You just read what you read in the papers instead of actually getting proper briefs from the minister and being able to provide our input into it. It's also not being relied upon too. So catch my breath here. Back running up the hill. Back in 2018, we worked very closely. We didn't always get along, but Christopher Lynn would phone me, Andrew Leslie, Wayne Easter, Brian Massey. We did multiple trips down to Washington together. There's none of that right now, so there's been no consultation. So you ask me what I think, it's hard to know what to think until I know exactly what's on the table, and I don't know what that is. So.
What do you think of the social media ban for kids under the age of 16 until these platforms can keep it safe?
I don't really have a comment at this point in time on that.
What about just on CUSMA? If he's not renewing it and we go into this cycle of like sort of perennial uncertainty, I guess the yearly cycle or whatever it is, what does that do for the economy and for certainty and for what businesses need now?
There's so many angles that come up in that question. I think there's the obvious things, like if you're looking at investments in Canada and around the world, you want bankability, you want to have stability. So you've got the Prime Minister talking about bringing in a lot of these investors and funds here at the end of the year to invest in Canada. Well, if you talk to stakeholders again and other fund managers are saying, first of all, they want bankability. So they want to make sure that if they're investing in Canada, they know exactly what markets they're going to have access to. And Canada has a lot of free trade agreements. Back to the days of Ed Fast and the Harper government, we did more trade agreements than any other country around the world. So we have that opportunity to offer businesses. But what they're also saying is they need projects to invest in. And even Canadian pension funds will say there's just not enough big projects here in Canada that get approved in a fashion that they can actually bank on and invest in. So until you start providing those types of opportunities to investors and the bankability of market access around the world or where you've got free trade agreements, it's hard to make decisions on where you invest, especially on big projects. Okay. So it's tough. It could be all pre-bluster. Nobody really knows. I wouldn't overreact, I guess is what I'd say. Just kind of expected it. I think we'll see all sorts of ups and downs between now and July 1st. But at the end of the day, I think Canadians and Americans, consumers for sure, and American manufacturers want to see a good deal. And Canadians want to see a good deal, and we've had a good deal. So it's important to everybody. So I don't want to take it lightly. I think you have to take it serious. But I think at the end of the day, the sun will rise and we'll move forward. So I'll leave it at that.
Cool.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
After weeks of pressure from Conservatives at the Health Committee, the Liberals have been forced to put Canada Health Infoway's funding on hold. According to reports in the Globe and Mail, the Health Minister is withholding $50 million in funding from Canada Health Infoway until it addresses its mismanagement. That means $50 million in taxpayer funding is now being withheld from the organization behind the failed $300 million PrescribeIT program. This is a major win for Canadian taxpayers. But let's be clear why this happened. The Liberals handed Canada Health Infoway nearly $300 million taxpayer dollars for PrescribeIT. Instead of delivering, the program failed. Fewer than 5% of prescriptions ever went through the system before it was shut down. Canadians deserve to know how this happened, where the money went, and why the Liberals kept funding an organization that was failing miserably. We now know Canada Health Infoway paid its former CEO nearly $900,000 in annual compensation. And now, after signing the checks and looking the other way, the Health Minister is finally admitting that she failed to oversee Canada Health Infoway. That admission is the direct result of the work Conservatives have done at the Health Committee and my team. It happened because we refused to let the scandal get swept under the rug. We have been relentless in our pursuit of the truth. But let's be clear, this is not the end of the scandal. Canada Health Infoway is still refusing to hand over documents the Health Committee ordered them to produce. This includes contracts, board minutes, invoices from consultants, and details of overall spending. And here's the irony of all this. This is the organization Liberals put in charge of the government's digital health policy. Their mandate was to drag our health system out of the fax machine era, and they cannot even manage to transmit documents to a parliamentary committee. If Canada Health Infoway cannot figure out how to send files to a health committee, Canadians should be asking serious questions about why this organization should be trusted with another dollar of public money. Conservatives believe that their failure to produce these documents is contempt of Parliament. That is why we raised a point of privilege in the House yesterday. And unfortunately, Liberal MPs have been doing everything in their power to shut down this investigation. The Health Committee has not had a newly scheduled meeting in over a month. Liberal MPs have shut off the committee cameras, they have abruptly adjourned meetings, they have denied multiple emergency meetings requests from opposition members, and they have blocked the Health Minister from testifying at committee. The Liberals need to stop blocking the PrescribeIT investigation and let the Health Committee do its job. I want to thank the thousands of Canadians who have written to the committee demanding answers. Their determination is what's driving us to keep pushing. Conservatives will not stop until Canadians know the full truth about the $300 million PrescribeIT failure and until those responsible are held accountable. Thank you. Now we'll take any questions. No? No question? Okay, thank you.